I just need somebody else to tell me that they're living paycheck to paycheck and putting themselves into credit card debt out of necessity, not because of fun. I am 28 years old. I work a decent paying job. I love my job. I make good income. We have no kids, me and my fiance, and we're still barely scraping by. Our bills are paid, but we can't save any money. We can't go on vacation. I mean, we do little things here and there, but realistically, we don't really do anything. And we still live paycheck to paycheck, okay? I don't understand how people with kids are doing this. Props to y'all. I mean, seriously, the utmost respect, because I feel like I'm drowning and I only have cats. Any money that we're able to save ends up getting spent on the car, or the cat has to go to the vet, or one of us has a medical emergency. Like, it's just gone. It's gone. I don't understand. We don't live beyond our means. Are we all just collectively putting ourselves into debt because I don't know what else to do?
What's cracking? I have negative $247 in my bank account. I'm going on vacation and I'm running errands right now, but I won't allow the negative to stop me. I'm still gonna go fix my nails, drop off my dry cleaning. I have to pick up my passport for my ex, so all of that needs to be done before 12. It's 9:44. Will I get it done? Of course, I picked myself up a coffee, because when you're running late, it's mandatory that you also get a coffee. Duh.
I'm just lost and confused on why is the pay rate in Texas still so low, and they charging an arm and a leg for these apartments. Why are you charging people $1,400 for rent, and then the employment places are only paying $11? Who is going to be able to live somewhere and y'all one bedrooms are $1,400? And that's not including everything at the end of the month. That's just $1,400 flat. We're not including the valet trash. We're not including the water. We're not including light bills. We're not including people who have to pay daycares. They got their own things outside of rent, and y'all only paying $11. And then y'all want people to work their backs into the ground. And then when you apply at these jobs, they want you to learn and know all this stuff for $11. Yeah, no. We gotta do better. At least up the pay to $16.
You know what I find absolutely crazy? I went to nursing school to become a nurse, to become financially free, and provide stability for me and stability for a future family if I was to have a child. I thought that, you know what, like, let me get into an actual career. Healthcare, phenomenal. I'll always have a job. They pay well, until I actually got into nursing. Starting off as a new grad, I made $33.93 as my base pay. I was a mid shifter, so I got the same shift differential that a night shift nurse would get, and I got an additional $4. During that time, I was looking for an apartment, and all apartments were like $1,500 and up. I was only making like roughly $1,700 to $1,800 every 2 weeks. I was still going to be living paycheck to paycheck as a nurse. Even though like I chose a career, even though I went to school, I got the degree, I still found myself in the same rat race of having to pay bills, now having to pay student loans, having to afford living, and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck.
I just had someone DM me saying, how can you be so broke when you're doing TikTok and your fiance work? We are living paycheck to paycheck. I literally just sat down and did our budget for September. Okay, and mind you, this TikTok is not monetized. Like, I don't get paid for nothing. It's just fun for me to post. And no, this is not me begging anyone for money, because people are like, all you do is talk about money and you just want people to send you money. I am sending my message out there because I know people can relate. And this is the reality of living paycheck to paycheck, balling on a very tight budget and things we have to do. Because yes, people are really out here broke. We're broke. After his paycheck, regardless. Rant over. Less than $100. Which is totally fine. We can make it work. I know we can make it work. We have plenty of food in the house. The kids have plenty of diapers and wipes. We've got soap. Luckily, most of our bills come out his second paycheck. Which, if you see the trend, the second paycheck will be... It's reality. It is what it is. You just gotta stay positive. That is why I'm doing the whole marketplace challenge. And like, it's just gonna give us a little wiggle room, you know? Am I stressed? Not really. Should I be stressed? Probably, but I'm so used to it, like, it's fine. If you can relate, comment, because there's people out there that think I'm just like bluffing this whole thing. Paycheck to paycheck living is a serious thing. About 77% of the people in the United States are paycheck to paycheck living. Reality.
Just in case there's any confusion about this, I want to be very clear. A person who is making minimum wage is not going to qualify for a house without having a substantial down payment. I'm not talking about like $7,000, $10,000, $20,000, no, large down payment. People get really triggered when it comes to talking about minimum wage. You have to be careful, but ahora me vale. Question to you guys who are working minimum wage and are struggling to make ends meet. Why are you guys settling? Minimum wage is the bare minimum. If you are eating at a restaurant, would you want something that is the bare minimum? Like, it's edible. Fuck no. In a relationship, do you want a partner that is going to give you the bare minimum? Absolutely not. Would you feel secure driving a vehicle that is at its bare minimum? Un carro que muy apenas anda. We've all had them in our lives. So why is it that when it comes to income, you guys settle? Minimum wage is an entry-level type of pay. Right now we're gonna get the ones, well, we used to be able to live off of minimum wage. We used to be able to live off of one income. There's a lot of things we used to be able to do. We used to be able to purchase houses that were $30,000. We used to not have technology. Women, we used to not be able to work and vote. Things are continuously changing, and the best way to stay ahead is to adapt. You can continue complaining about what we used to be able to do until you're black and blue. It's not going to change anything. Even if homeownership is not for you, you have no interest in purchasing a house, that's fine. Do you, do whatever makes you happy. But be aware that if you are not saving, if you are not investing into something, te vas a quedar en las mismas, and you will struggle for the rest of your life.
Am I the only one who feels like I will never stop living paycheck to paycheck? The economy we live in is trash. The jobs we work for are trash. They pay you the bare minimum, but want you to show up and give your 110%. How does that work? These houses, they want you to pay $1,000+ for rent, and they're 1980 houses. You gotta have a deposit, last month's rent, first month's rent. Like, why do I need to pay last month's rent? I don't understand that. Car insurance, car payments, they're rip-offs. Why am I paying $300 for car insurance? I don't understand. Health insurance, skyrocket. Food, skyrocket. Like, I just don't understand how I will ever be able to afford to wake up and go hop on a plane and enjoy my best life. I just don't understand. By the time my kids get to adulthood, they're gonna have to pay to open the door to walk out of their own house. I really, really, really rather be a cockroach crawling on the ground for free than have to live this life every day. Like, I can't be the only one who feels this way. Like, I need to know, y'all that get to wake up and take trips and go across country and do $100 shopping sprees at Target every single day. What are you doing? What's the secret to life? What is the secret recipe that you have that we don't have? Let us know.
Texas, the country or the state that promised you freedom, is quietly breaking families. People parked their cars and left California. They left New York, they left Chicago. They were chasing something real. A house with a yard, groceries that didn't bankrupt them, a life where the paycheck actually stretched. Texas was sold as the answer. No income tax, land of opportunity, the last place in America where the dream still worked. And people believed it. Black families believed it. White families believed it. Working class families believed it. Diaspora families who had been pressed out of everywhere else believed it. They moved. They planted roots. They voted. And now, halfway through 2026, they're standing in HEB staring at a receipt and asking a question nobody wants to answer. Now, let me paint you a picture. It is a Friday evening somewhere outside Houston. A woman, let's call her Denise, pulls into the HEB parking lot after a 10-hour shift. She got 2 kids in the backseat. She's got a list in her hand: chicken, eggs, bread, milk, a pack of ground beef, some fruit. Basic stuff, nothing extravagant. She gets the register. The total is $187. She stares at the screen. She paid $140 for that same card 8 months ago. She doesn't say anything. She just swipes the card, drives home, and tries to figure out which bill she's going to push back this month. This is not a rare story. It is Texas right now. This is Tuesday. This is every week. This is the quiet economic crisis that isn't getting nearly enough attention. And if you're part of the diaspora, if your family made that move to Texas chasing opportunity, you need to understand exactly what is happening and why. Texas was aggressively marketed, and I use the word intentionally, as the promised land of American affordability. No state income tax, lower housing costs than the costs, space to breathe, a political environment that claimed to champion economic freedom and small government. And it worked as a pitch. Texas saw one of the largest domestic migration booms in recent American history. Black families, immigrant families, working class families, young professionals, they came from everywhere. And the 2024 election reflected that desperation. Across Texas and the nation, people voted with one word burned into their chests: affordability. Lower costs, grocery relief, get inflation under control, bring the American dream back within reach. That was the mandate. Now, ask yourself, what got cheaper? Because grocery prices are not down. Food inflation has accelerated again in 2026, and economists are warning that costs could keep climbing. You walk into Walmart, you walk into Kroger, you walk into Costco, and that same cart of groceries keep demanding more from a paycheck that hasn't moved in proportion. Now, here's what makes Texas specifically painful, and not just symbolically, but economically. This is cattle country. Texas is synonymous with ranching, with beef, with barbecue culture that runs so deep it's practically a religion. And yet, beef prices have surged to record levels. Cattle supply has hit historic lows. And the consequence of that, some of Texas' most iconic barbecue restaurants, places that survived recessions, survived COVID, survived everything, are shutting down their doors because they cannot absorb the cost of the product that made them famous. Let us sink in. Texas barbecue is becoming a luxury item in Texas. If that's not a metaphor for what's happening to working families, I don't know what it is. Now, look at the broader financial picture. Research on Texas household financial hardship shows that while roughly 13% of families fall below the official poverty line, another 29% are at least households that asset limited, income constrained, employed. These are people with jobs. People who get up and go to work. People doing everything the system told them to do, and they still cannot comfortably afford basic necessities. That's nearly 42% of Texas households, either in poverty or on the economic edge. Nearly half. And politicians are not talking about them because these families are not in the headlines. They are not dramatic enough for the news cycle. They are just quietly drowning. The mortgage, the rent, the insurance, the utilities, the gas, the credit card that never quite gets paid down, the emergency fund that doesn't exist. This is where it gets personal. And this is where the diaspora lens matters, because I know of black families, Caribbean families, African immigrant families. We were sold this story too. Texas as the place where your dollar goes further. Texas as the place where you can actually own something. Texas as somewhere your kids can grow up with space, with stability, with a shot. And many of us made sacrifices together. We left communities we knew, left family networks, left the neighborhood. The neighborhoods where everybody looked like us, talked like us, understood us, and in exchange for a suburb with a 3-car garage and a yard, and at the promise that the math will finally work in our favor. The math ain't mathing. And here's the part that cuts the deepest. People did everything right. Worked hard, paid bills, bought homes, voted for change, and they are still falling behind. That grocery receipt Denise stared at on Friday, she earned that money. She worked for it, and the system still took more than she had to give. This is not about a fashion failure. This is a structural one. And the diaspora community, more than almost anyone else, knows what it feels like when the system is built in a way that ensures you can do everything correctly and still end up on the wrong side of the math. Guys, so what does this mean going forward? Number one, I want you guys to stop letting politicians redefine what victory looks like after the fact. The mandate was affordability. If groceries are more expensive, that mandate was not delivered. Hold that line, guys. Name it clearly. Don't let the conversation get redirected. Number two, the diaspora has to talk about economic infrastructure. Credit unions, cooperative buying, community food networks, mutual aid structures, because the political system has demonstrated repeatedly that relief is low, targeted at others, or doesn't come at all. We can't afford to wait. Number three, and this is the uncomfortable one, Texas is a preview. This is affordability squeeze is not unique to Texas. It is spreading, and if your family is somewhere else right now, feeling financially stable, understand that this pattern has a way of traveling. The question for 2026 is not whether inflation is over. The question is whether ordinary families, our families, can keep up long enough for the system to remember they exist. Because right now, a lot of people in Texas got exactly the government they voted for. And they are still broke. They're suffering. They're living paycheck to paycheck. This is the Diaspora Review. Tell me what you think in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going on. Subscribe. Tell me to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll be glad. Thank you. Let us meet in the next one.